McKell who gets the catch. He's got patrol.
Normally on the field in front of you, it's balls that are being kicked around or flung through the air on a given night here in the city of White Bear Lake. However, once a year, tonight being no exception, it's the disc that starts to fly from end zone to end zone, as tonight on Suburban Community Channel's TV 19, the Classic Suburban Ultimate Championship between White Bear Lake and Mounds View here in a very balmy White Bear Lake on this Thursday evening. With Jordan Gustafson, I'm Alex Westhead, and before we get into the rules and the explanation of what this game of Ultimate is, it's hot outside, and it's certainly something that we can feel pretty early.
Yeah, you know what? I know that here in the press box, it's definitely a heat wave, but I can only imagine what it's like in the direct sun out there, too. So these guys are definitely going to have to do their best to stay hydrated and stick with it.
One of the unique facets of the Ultimate Frisbee year is that you can play as it starts in April and goes all the way up until right about June. This would be the normal weekend for the state tournaments out in Blaine. 95 degrees will be the temperature at first huck officially, with it dropping down to 88 by the time that the game ends in about 2 hours' time. For the uninitiated, welcome to Ultimate Frisbee. The season standings, this is the open division of a co-ed league in the state of Minnesota run by Minnesota Ultimate, a subsidiary of USA Ultimate. For teams that typically do well here, Edina, Hopkins, Maple Grove, St. Louis Park, and Mounds View at the top of the standings of the opening division. And we see that good culture develop between all of these teams, and especially here between Mounds View and White Bear Lake. And as we wait for play to get started, again, the coaching staffs will do their coaching. It's going to be a little bit different today. There's Coach Curtis Kamek for the White Bear Lake Bears on the near side sideline, a 3-year varsity starter for the Bears here in White Bear Lake. He's been the head coach of the Bears for 3 years. He's been coach of the year in the Classic Suburban for each of the last 2 times the award was given, in 2018 and lastly in 2019, before Minnesota Ultimate did not play a season in 2020. On the other side, for the Mounds View Mustangs, Tyler Smith, an adult club coach in 2019, YCC coach 2017 and 18, and the Suburban East Coach of the Year in 2017. Mounds View part of the Suburban East in all other sports except for Ultimate, and we are underway as Mounds View has deferred to start on defense. And we'll be underway here. A couple of things that you'll notice early is that the ball, the disc, rather, cannot be set, as here's a huck way down the length of the field, all the way going back behind. Nobody to catch it is there, as the disc is in the end zone by Colby Bachmeyer. But we have an official that has been called, or a violation that's been called. One of the unique facets, of course, Jordan, of Ultimate Frisbee is that it is not something that has officials, but rather it is self-enforced instead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, you're going to have to play with a merit standpoint at that point.
So the disc will go back to its original positioning. It is a football field's length. The end zones are an additional 10 yards longer. So they'll go deep for Bachmeyer again, cutting it back to the left side. And that disc will be out of bounds. And a turnover here, and Mounds View will take over. For the Mounds View Mustangs, 8-11 overall, 1-0. Take those win-loss records overall with a grain of salt, as teams play in conference tournaments and in different meets across the course of the year. Mounds View in the regular season schedule played just one conference opponent here in the Classic Suburban. They played Irondale their last time out, a 15-6 victory. Otherwise, a split record the remainder of their regular season schedule. Now a turn. Possession can be held. It's a man-to-man defense set by Mounds View defensively. Possession here by Alex Lohman. Lohman, as the Mustangs force a forehand flick on the near-hand side, trying to go backhand. Lohman swings it to the near side. Can be picked up there by Max Steiner for White Bear Lake. Steiner with a soft mark being delivered, puts it down and low. Nice catch by Lohman. As the Bears continue to march their way up the field. Jordan, one of the things that we consider here with Ultimate is there's a pass just mishandled. As a pass intended for senior Colby Bachmeyer. I think he was thinking about the point rather than the catch first.
Yeah, you know, it just got away from him a little bit. It was a good throw, good effort, but unfortunately just right off the fingertips.
So Mounds View will be in control of play here. Sorry about that, folks. Just had to explain how to work the clock here at White Bear Stadium. White Bear Lake with possession again as it's a H-stack that's been set. Lohman looking for an outlet again. One of the things that people have to do as a pass there was intended for Andre Kelly Kennedy. And another turnover here for Mounds View. So White Bear Lake able to work their way into the low areas, but unable to cross that goal line as a pass intended. And then off the hands of Alex Powell, midfield forces another turnover for White Bear Lake. And White Bear Lake has been passing well, but Mounds View just has a hard time breaking out of their half.
Yeah, you know, though, I think that the heat's starting to take a little play here. The more sweat you get, the slippier that disc is going to get. And these, I mean, you can see it already.
Here's a huck up for the very tall Max Steiner coming down with it. Is he in? It looks like he's in. And all he has to do is tap the disc in, and he is. So Max Steiner on the scoreboard first for White Bear Lake, and that'll give the Bears a 1-0 lead. And when you have that head-to-head height advantage, why not put it up for your big guy and see if you can get it in?
Yeah, you know, that height definitely helps out.
So Steiner, the senior cutter varsity basketball player here for Keith Lockwood's White Bear Lake Bears, an all-conference nominee in the Classic Suburban, and has decided to go to St. Ambrose University on a basketball scholarship. And when you have height like that, why wouldn't you? So 1-0 early for White Bear Lake, and again, you see there just the size advantage that goes away. Ultimate is not a sport that is timed, Jordan. Rather, it goes instead by the total number of points that are scored, which makes it another thing that's a little bit more unique compared to other sports like it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's nice, though, that you don't have to wait for a clock to ring. You can kind of play at your own pace, not have to worry about any kind of, you know, shot clock or delay a game or anything like that. So it definitely adds a whole new aspect.
We normally take the time to say thank you to our camera operators as the game progresses. However, with the heat being what it is, we do want to take the time to say thank you to our crew, particularly early. As again, the coaches have the ability to, after each point, to come out and talk with their players just a little bit. So we want to say thanks to Anders Engstrom, Steven Adams, and Ian Felix down below, David Schuyler and Arlen Becker in the truck. Setting up when it's 97 degrees and sunny out is nothing short of amazing, and of course we thank them for their efforts, not just today, but for all season long and across all extremes of all temperatures. So White Bear Lake to Huck from their own end zone, a nice line drive that can be fielded here, and of course you have the opportunity, as that one will go all the way back. They do have to play it from the spot in which it landed. So Mounds with possession on the forehand flick, a wide open receiver here in Austin Ginn. Ginn with a long put all the way down the length of the field. Nice slide and catch by the Mustangs, and they've tied it up at a goal apiece. Beautiful run delivered there by Juna Yu, and the Mustangs have tied it at 1.
That was just a phenomenal catch. And to throw that amount of effort right now when it's 90-some degrees outside, I think I would have passed out halfway there.
Well, we made a comment, Jordan, before the game started. The Mustang players had lined up on their own goal line and did wind sprints in this heat. So Mounds View certainly taking this game very seriously. Their first season in this Classic Suburban, and with a play like that, they're off and running offensively.
I mean, I think they're trying to show, you know, just what they have, right? And what a time to do that. If you can play with the elements too, I mean, you're going to have the upper edge.
Well, speaking of the elements, we make conversation so much about stupid little things sometimes that maybe don't have an impact on the play. I think the team wearing white tonight has just a little bit more of an advantage because of how that white repels the heat a little bit more than what, say, White Bear Lake's orange and black outfit might.
You know, yeah, yes it does. Something about black really just magnifies that sun. And what can I say? I don't know. I don't like sticking myself in an oven, so.
It does seem to be a little bit more of an oven up here in the press box tonight. So Mounds View will huck into the sun, all tied at 1. Again, there'll be a quarter break and a water break here with the temperature and the heat here at White Bear Stadium at the first team to get 4 or 20 minutes after the game has started. So there's a clock that is up and running. That's a hard cap. Typically in tournaments, games are capped at a total of 90 minutes of play with a halftime included in that as well. For championship games of this magnitude, that clock is increased to 100 minutes as the absolute most in which a game can elapse. So Mounds View lining up here for the opening huck of this possession, and they'll choose to go from the near side. It's a long one. Sailing wide to the left. We'll see if it stays in play, and it will. It'll have to be fielded there. Lohman looking to restart play back the other way. The forehand has been forced. It can be reset here once again for Gavin Johnson. As Johnson looking for a pass, man defense set here by Mounds View, looking for an opening. Nice catch on the pass there by Max Steiner with the lone White Bear Lake goal so far tonight, all tied at 1. Lohman looking for a cut, found it in Connor Godfrey. Godfrey with a nice catch. He'll have to work for it. Again, forehand being forced here by Mounds View, as that's what they do so frequently here. Lohman, as the handlers play back and forth between each other here early. Not much action out of the Cutters, and a turnover there by Lohman. And a short field setup for Mounds View on the quick throw. Passes up looking for Ben Fuller, but incomplete as that disc will roll into the sideline. And something you hear a lot is teams to stay chilly. That throw was forced just a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, you know, it seemed like he was looking at the point instead of you know, making sure that he timed the throw perfectly.
Another bomb further up the way, looking for Steiner. Nice completion and a big gain for White Bear Lake as they're back on the attacking half of midfield. Steiner, a little dump pass there, further now for Lohman. Lohman trying to swing it in, and a nice catch by Connor Godfrey gives White Bear Lake the lead back at 2-1.
It's good little pass there. Nothing too fancy either, but just, you know, made sure he had enough separation and got it right to him.
Outstanding flow by White Bear Lake off the turnover. And Mounds View for a possession there where you had an open field in front of you, plenty of time for the pass to go from Cy up to Fuller. And to force that throw so quickly, that's a possession that Mounds View is going to want to have back.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, I mean, there's plenty of time, right? It's ultimate. I mean, we just saw how quick they can score right back. So we look, I mean, obviously we're going to try to look for something, you know, retaliation, if you will.
So again, Mounds View and White Bear Lake, they play each other fairly frequently as teams try to schedule games regionally based. White Bear Lake, part of the Classic Suburban, since the Classic Suburban Championship had begun in 2012, White Bear Lake had won all but one Classic Suburban Championship. Their lone loss in this conference came to the Matamidi, not the Zephyrs, but the Matamidi Mall in the 2015 Conference Championship game. So frequently you see teams choose not to identify with the nickname and mascot of their school, but instead choose other monikers, like Matamidi, the Mall. The Cretan-Durham Hall Raiders are Raging Safari. And Hudson, the Raiders out in Wisconsin on the other side of the river, go by the Hudson Frisbees. So here's the Huck to restart play. White Bear Lake leading 2-1. This disc will hover near the far sideline. It can be caught here. Mounds View choosing to work the play up quickly. Schaumburg further here now for Cameron Dahlbaum. Right side swung now Josh Else, an all-conference nominee for Mounds View. So reset again. Austin Ginn. Back for Elsie again. Back to the middle. Dahlbaum. All the way back midfield. And again, great flow here now back the other way. Ginn, what a play defensively. Andre Kelly Kennedy reading that pass now quickly. A disc is up high into the air. Grabbed in the end zone by Josh Else, and they'll be able to bring it back up to the goal line. Good defensive read on that high pass.
Yeah, you know, that's the risk with passing it high like that, is you give the defense plenty of time to get there and defend.
Quick offense again by the Mustangs, 8-11, number 5 overall in the open division here of Minnesota Ultimate. Great sliding catch made by David Mushel. Mushel, dump back there for Else. Quick offense again here by the Mustangs. Good pressure there on the turnover attempted by Colby Bachmeyer. A little bit of a defensive zone, and the pass out of the outstretched arms of David Mushel, the senior handler. And another turn taken here by White Bear Lake. Choosing to slow down. You see the defender dancing in front of the individual with the disc at this time. There's a 10-second stall clock that a defender has every right to choose to enforce. Of course, they have to count out seconds individually. Very infrequently is it used, but there are times where the stall count does come into play. So Mounds View will take it. They have to take it from where it went out of line, and they will start again here quickly. Schaumburg in the midfield, nice forehand flick made there. Further for Austin Ginn. Ginn around a soft cup set by White Bear Lake. Dahlbaum. And a good flow here once more from Mounds View as they seem to be working this midfield area well, trying to keep those crisp, quick passes to break up this soft zone set by White Bear Lake. Midfield. Mushel. So continue to work the ball disc up the field. You, the lone goal scorer for the Mounds View Mustangs tonight. On the forehand into the zone again. They'll continue to just knife and slowly work this way up this field. And when you have that soft zone that's set, when you're given that space, you have to take it. Here's a hammer. Going up into the end zone, defended and then caught there by the defender, Tommy Rollinger, the captain for White Bear Lake, and a nice catch defensively for the Bears.
You know, you would have to think, though, with this heat, some of that little chop play like that, it's got to be just to slow the game down and kind of catch their breath.
Turn. Mounds View starting the other way, a little bit of a screen set, so that'll be a self-called foul there. It'll give Mounds View the chance to set back up. Swing to the near side. Schomburg. Back midfield for Jin. Jin as they continue to swing the cup around. That's what you're supposed to do. Else. Jin again. Jin defended as the disc goes back there. They played further now, Dahlbaum. Mushel. Low disc on the ground was intended for Jin, just a little bit further as I think a couple of Bears got a hand on it. I think one thing too, Jordan, you have to look at for tonight is the depth of these teams will really be tested with this heat.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, can only imagine how much rest is going to come into play and how much, you know, you got to take some time to hydrate.
We'll take a quarter break here when the first team hits 4 points in the midfield area. Ooh, good recovery. Made defensively there by Andre Kelly Kennedy, a good defensive sophomore for the Bears. Midfield. White Bear Lake looking to set a stack here. I don't know that they're going to be able to do so. Mounds View very strong defensively as the pass there was intended and then denied. Jin, a restart play, and again, the two-man cup set here by White Bear Lake. Good spin. Jin looking for an outlet, has a number. Ooh, right into the outstretched arms of Jared McFarland. And a good read. A couple of Mustangs back deep, but McFarland read that pass well out of the zone.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of good defensive plays here, which is really just surprising with, you know, how again, I'm going to come back to it, but how hot it is outside.
Jin defensively against Zach Sanders for White Bear Lake with a good read for the Mustangs. And again, we're about 10 minutes out from the absolute earliest in which that quarter break can be taken. A foul has been called, and so we'll see where the disc will be set, and Mounds View will maintain possession. One of the things that we see here is teams tend to force teams up the sideline, as we will have a timeout signal be made by the Mustang Eli Schauberg, and so timeout will be taken here, 2-1. White Bear Lake leading. Again, it'll be the first team that reaches 4 points or 20 minutes, which has been elapsed. We're a little bit away from that, but timeout taken by Mounds View on the far side, and both teams will certainly be looking to take advantage of this. So a goal from Max Steiner started the scoring for White Bear Lake. It was a quick response by the Mustangs by Juna Yu, the junior cutter, that tied the game at 1 before Connor Godfrey, the latest scorer for White Bear Lake. And the Bears on this timeout lead it by a score of 2-1. With Jordan Gustafson, I am Alex Westhead. We thank you for joining this broadcast tonight. We only get to do one ultimate game a year based on where teams play. Matamini plays at a middle school. White Bear Lake plays at North Campus, which unfortunately as of yet does not have stands. And a number of teams in our area haven't been formed yet. But with quality play like we're seeing tonight, why wouldn't you want to come out and play?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're seeing new teams pop up all the time, so this is an up-and-coming sport, at least it has been in the last 15, 20 years here. So, I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Minnesota Ultimate began its program in 2005. Edina, Hopkins, Maple Grove, White Bear Lake among some of the founding members of the team. Minneapolis South, the Squall, and Open World Learning. Some of the early teams that started Minnesota Ultimate. It has since expanded, and the state tournament every year is held in the fields of the National Sports Center out in Blaine. And when you see those fields filled with players, drinking water, having a good time, and playing this game, it makes you feel really strongly about the future of this game in the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's becoming huge, and I mean, it has been in other aspects. I know when I was in college, I definitely played my share of ultimate frisbee, so it's kind of nice to be out here seeing it again.
So the timeout was taken by the Mustangs. They have it on the far sideline, and all that the person who took the timeout, Eli Schauberg, has to do is simply tap the disc in, and we'll be able to continue play. We'll see a line force here where White Bear Lake will try to force a play up the line. Of course, the reason why you want to do that, Jordan, is you want to shrink the field and make sure that Mounds View stays on that sideline, less room to have to defend.
Yeah.
Still waiting for the timeout to resume and play to resume again. Of course, players will be taking their time, of course, to get back in position and save the energy for when they absolutely need it. A nice turnout of fans here at White Bear Stadium, the majority of which wisely hiding in the shade on the far sideline.
Kind of wish I had some shade here, Alex, you know?
This is arguably, and I have to talk to David Schuyler or Anthony Miller, the sports director before him. I think this is the warmest game that SCC has broadcast in any sport for a good number of years. Play can continue. Jin swings it back midfield there for Else. As again, they try to work this knife slowly up the field. Here's they found a seam back deep. Else with a soft throw intended there. Good catch made by Cameron Dahlbaugh, and the Mustangs have tied the game. Beautiful flow up the field. Juna Yu into the end zone for the second time this evening, and we're all tied at 2.
Yeah, you know, it seems like the defense on White Bear Lake kind of just laxed a little bit there. But again, I really think that a lot of it's kind of just being caused by just, you know, let's save ourselves till we really need to throw out more effort.
Well, we talk about the similarities between the game of Ultimate and other sports. The defensive schemes for Ultimate teams are often similar to basketball and football. You can have a man defense, you can have a zone defense, you can have some sort of a hybridization of that. And in that instance, I don't know that the zone was the right play for White Bear Lake.
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure. I think that man was working out for them. But I think the bigger question is hybridization a word?
Yes, hybridization is a word.
All right, thanks.
And if you disagree with me, find me on Twitter at Alex Westek. And let me know one way or the other. Again, you can follow Suburban Community Channels on all social media across the Big Four: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just find us at SCCTV or SCCTV Sports, depending on the format, and check out when we'll be broadcasting next. Of course, we did think that the game here at White Bear Stadium, Tartan North Girls Lacrosse and White Bear Girls Lacrosse, was the last game that we were going to be doing, but then we added this Ultimate game to our schedule. Of course, always grateful for the opportunity to come out and cover our teams.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's good to get out here, especially after for so long not being able to.
Football, soccer, volleyball on the horizon in late August, early September. And we hope that you will stick around and join us for those when those big three kick off coming up in the very near future. So Mounds View to Huck, again, all teams that have been going to the right side of your screen. That's where all the scoring has happened. Typically in Ultimate, wind plays a big factor. Not much wind to speak of tonight. So odd that you would see all of the play happening down on that right side of the field.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you're looking back directly into the sun on that side too, but yet that somehow doesn't seem to really, you know, be bothering them too much.
White Bear Lake will try to flow their offense. Rayner, whose sister Paige played with me on the JV team for 3 years, on the right side. Held here by Colby Bachmeyer, the All-Conference nominee, varsity Nordic skiing All-Conference. Eagle Scout committed to Creighton University in Nebraska. As put up here, looking again, this is a mismatch that White Bear Lake can try to take advantage of all day long. Steiner looking for an outlet. He stays chilly at the goal line. That stall count has to be getting up there. Steiner looking for the pass, defers. Well read by Daniel Rayner. And now a turnover forced by Mounds View. And we'll see if we get a point here into the sun for the first time today.
That was just good defense. He read that right off the throw.
Quick turn here by the Mustangs. Yan looking for the pass, blocked. We'll see if a foul gets called here. Bachmeyer will contest it. And so what happens on a foul when a player contests it, it goes back to where the foul occurred. And then there's some variations on the style count that happen as well, depending on when. Josh Else, 2021 All-Conference nominee for the Mounds View Mustangs. Nice put midfield, read well by Alex Seishin. Swung to the right side. This disc is put up again from Ian Sy, a good catch. Made the midfield area, trying to continue Christian. Looking for possession now as it's held here by Dolbau. looking for a cut and a little dump into the end zone line. Instead, they'll have to reset further. Else looking for a pass, an H-stack set, and still out, unable to get across that line. The inside passes up, caught, beautiful flow by the Mounds View Mustangs as Josh Else is into the end zone. And another point on the board for the Mustangs as they take their first lead of the evening.
And as you said, Alex, first one going that way too.
So Else, the senior handler. And when you get so close to that end zone, typically you resort to that man defense, and I think White Bear Lake did a pretty good job of defending it, but when you have that handler that's sitting back all open, it's really a tough ask to be able to defend that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things where you're gonna leave him open to add another defensive player, you know, in that end zone, if you will, but you risk just what happened right there.
So Mounds View takes the lead, their first of the evening, at 3-2, and we'll be fairly close to a drinks break in the not too distant future if Mounds View should score next, or if White Bear Lake should put on the 2-point rally. And in fact, I think we might get it here as we've hit the 20-minute mark. So this will be our first quarter end unofficially, and it'll be 3-2. Mounds View leading over White Bear Lake. If you're joining us late and enjoying the cool breeze of your home or apartment or wherever you may live, Max Steiner got on the scoreboard first for White Bear Lake. Juna Yu responded for Mounds View. Then Connor Godfrey on a pass from Alex Lohman, able to give White Bear Lake another one-goal lead at 2-1. Juna Yu would tie the game again at 2, and then the first point scored into the sun today by Josh Else on some beautiful handler play, giving Mounds View the first lead of the game. You see on the screen the schedule of the Mounds View Mustangs in their last 5 contests. Again, for these teams, they play 1 game a week, always on Thursdays as part of the regular season schedule. A very tough schedule their last time out. Good contests against Hopkins, Maple Grove, both teams in the top 3, but then Minneapolis, Washburn, and Eden Prairie bouncing out of schedule, and then a decisive victory over 6-2 rival, the Irondale Knights, in their last 5 contests. And odd, of course, with 95-degree heat, but ultimate players are a little off the deep end sometimes. Can speak from experience. The sweatshirt with the hood up in 95-degree heat, an odd decision to be sure.
You know, I can only imagine that it's just to absorb the sweat as it's coming off. So, smart.
So 3-2, the start here. So we'll play another 20 minutes before the halftime. In a normal game of Ultimate, as again you take a look at the Bears' last 5 contests, Apple Valley has been one of the top 5 teams in the state since Minnesota Ultimate formed. A very close loss to the Eagles of Apple Valley, and then 4 wins in a row versus Woodbury, Stillwater, St. Louis Park, and Stillwater, their last times out. And again, White Bear Lake playing at the North Campus here in White Bear Lake, a little bit further up the road, up Highway 61, Cup and Cone. A wonderful spot by North Campus, which is a staple in the White Bear Lake community, home of ice creams, shakes, attempts at blizzards, all wonderful things we could have tonight. So the drinks break will continue. And Jordan, we've seen both teams play for a little bit. We've seen how the sun and the heat has affected both teams. What have you liked out of the game in which Mounds View has presented so far?
Well, I think they're just taking it slow, right? They're trying not to do too much at one time, and ultimately, I mean, it's creating open chances, and there just hasn't been a call on it. You know what I mean? There hasn't been a defense that really has been able to stop it too much.
And on the other side for White Bear Lake, they started strong, but I think the transition from man to zone may be something that Coach Curtis Kamek wants to walk back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're definitely talking about that right now down there as far as, hey, guys, you know, obviously this isn't working. Thought it would. Let's try to regroup and do this over. I mean, there's plenty of time.
Of course, with this being the final broadcast of the school year, the augmented, odd, at sometimes non-existent 2020-21 school year, we do want to thank all the people that came out on the microphone over the course of this year. Allison Vogt, Jordan Gustafson, Ted LaRue, Patrick Lilia, Jeff Disher, Earnhardt Jaworski, David Schuyler at times. We're, of course, always thankful for those folks coming out and assisting the broadcasting world and covering the best of the East Metro live and for free here for you on Suburban Community Channels. We certainly hope to do so again next year. So the timeout is over for the drinks break. And the teams will approach the sideline. Mounds View will be hucking into the east end of White Bear Stadium here. An all-turf field here with pellets aplenty. Of course, the heat just radiates off that turf as well. It's been baking in the sun all day. A little cloud cover in the mid-afternoon here in White Bear Lake to help cool it down. But compared to a natural grass surface, that turf plays just a little bit different. So Mounds View will approach the sideline. They'll have some more conversations there. This play will continue. Again, Max Steiner with a goal, a point rather. Connor Godfrey with a point as well. For Mounds View, the scoring leader so far, number 44, Juna Yu, the junior cutter. So the conversation will continue still for Mounds View, with Ian Tsai set to puck off whenever the coaches clear the field and allow for possession to continue. White Bear Lake and Mounds View both with little pop-up tents to keep the players cool as the sun continues to work its way down here at White Bear Stadium. So inside, the junior handler waiting for his coaches to clear the field. It's probably about, what would you say, Jordan? 10 yards narrower than a football field?
Yeah, about that.
So here's Tsai, as now the Mustang head coach Tyler Smith approaching the midfield area, chatting with Curtis Kamek regarding the timing of the drinks break. Curtis says they're okay, as does Tyler, and now the puck by Tsai high into the air. This one will hover up here. Players have the options. It'll stay inbounds. It'll be fielded here. Play can resume. Good swing. Bachmeyer looking for a set, and now it appears Mounds View has shifted into a defensive zone cup as well. Three-man cup as the play can be further sent along now by Tommy Rollinger. Good quick movement here. Godfrey. Reset back in the midfield area again as White Bear Lake trying to work up the field. Good swing here, Sanders. Godfrey cuts it back slow further here now, Toby Vang. Vang trying to work his way around a very short zone, close to a double team by Mounds View. Sanders for Vang again. Swings. Throws have to be quick here for White Bear Lake if they want to work their way up the field. Possession continue. Slow down. Reset again for Vang. Vang looking for that outlet pass. Trying to find somewhere to go. Dropping back to behind defense. Rollinger. Disc through the middle. It was intended that time for Connor Godfrey as it will fall on the goal line. And possession for Mounds View. They can take it out. I'm not sure why they're electing not to, but that is their prerogative, their choice. Swung back defensively. Tsai looking for the outlet pass. Chris Yan. Yan into the midfield area to the left side there for Michelle. Michelle back for Josh Else, who has the last Mustang point. Yan on the two-man cup set here by White Bear Lake. Quick spin keeps the Mustangs moving up the field. Emmanuel Pratt. Back defensively again for Ian Tsai. And of course, headgear is up to the choice and the decision of players. And you see on the junior handler Ian Tsai the bucket hat. Of course, some White Bear Lake players choosing to wear hats forward-facing, backward-facing, whatever the player wants to wear. One of the more unique sports as far as what players can wear on any given day. Pratt for Tsai again. Not even much of a hard mark being set here by White Bear Lake. Pratt further up ahead as they continue to swing down this field, in and out of the hands. A pass that was intended for a wide open Linus Turnquist just dropped a little bit, and a turn for White Bear Lake. White Bear Lake an advantage and the opportunity that they desperately need to take advantage of here. Rollinger quickly moving up the field. Sandhoffner for Vang. Flung to the right side, Connor Godfrey. Pass wide open, but at the feet of the intended receiver, and so White Bear Lake will set up defensively again. That pass was intended for the freshman Isaac Northwood. Inside. 3-2. Mounds View leading. Two teams traded points before. Mounds View has scored 2 unanswered now. Pratt on the left side will reset for Yan on the swing. Nice job by Els to go down and get that disc. Midfield as the Mustangs continue to swing. Seishin. Pratt. Else again. Tsai. And I think, Jordan, we're seeing these crisp passes. It's not necessarily moving quick up the field like it was earlier, but we're seeing it because until that play right there, White Bear Lake had been doing a pretty good job of keeping the handlers back.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it looks like they're just trying to, again, just kind of slow the pace of the game down and just, you know, take what's there. Don't make anything appear that doesn't need to, you know, you don't need to rush anything, if you will.
Oh, what a play and a dive made by Micah Sandhoffner, Rookie of the Year nominee for White Bear Lake, lays out for the block.
That was nice, especially right there where it had to be.
On the quick turn, Sanders. Looking again, this is a pass wide open for the intended receiver, but off the top of the head of Isaac Northwood, knocking the hat off of Northwood's head. So a tough break again for White Bear Lake. Ian Sy. Else. Left side for Pratt. Pratt has his handler line, appears to be contained. Pass intended to the left side for Daniel Lay. A little bit too far. One of the other things to talk about for Ultimate Frisbee 2 is that the players on the field have to stay on the field until a point is scored or an injury occurs. So the longer the point goes, the more likely a miscue is to happen.
Yeah, you know, obviously they're getting tired out there, and you can tell. But, I mean, just like right there, it was an easy score, at least if you would have turned around. But I think that, obviously, with this heat, I know I'm forgetting some stuff like to talk and, you know, things like that. So
Sanders' pass for Godfrey just a little too far. Corner force as it's reset. Middle of the field, dangerous play now for Pratt. Pratt looking for an outlet. Good read again. Some great laying out here by White Bear Lake defensively. And there's another example there as Colby Bachmeyer with another reach. That's not Colby Bachmeyer, that's Jaron McFarland. As McFarland will tap the disc in, forced forehand, and finds it back midfield for Tommy Rollinger. Good swing again, Connor Godfrey with a catch. Staying chilly, midfield, pass complete. Rayner is in. No, McFarland is in. Touchdown, White Bear Lake. Is now we're confusing all the sports, but White Bear Lake has tied the game at 3. So Jaron McFarland into the end zone, played goal for White Bear Lake junior goal, and he's found the end zone here for White Bear Lake.
You know, I think the big thing is probably how happy those guys are to get a break.
So a play and a point that lasted about 7 minutes of game time ties the game at 3 for White Bear Lake. So the Bears points by 3 different goal scorers. Now both teams have scored going into the sun as well, and that gives both teams some confidence moving forward into the rest of the game, especially as that sun drifts down more into eye level.
Right, absolutely. I mean, if you could do that and you can eye where the disc is, if you will, then you're going to be able to make those plays.
So we're tied at 3-3. We have 65 minutes remaining in the hard cap time. Again, coaching continues to occur. White Bear Lake 9-9 on the year, 3-0 in the Classic Suburban. We've mentioned the Classic Suburban a couple of times. I think it's important for folks to know which teams those are. And they change a little bit more from the old Classic Suburban that people think of, the Matamidi Tartan, everything in that side. Now, Classic Suburban is Irondale, Matamidi, Mounds View JV, Mounds View JV again, both the green and white JV, Roseville, Stillwater, and White Bear Lake. And if you want to stick around and enjoy something fun and exciting, the all-conference announcements will occur at halftime here, and we'll do our best to carry those as best we are able. And of course, in conferences, you like seeing teams that are regionally based. You like those rivalries to be built up. White Bear Lake Matamidi was certainly one, and still remains to be in the Classic Suburban. White Bear Lake and Mounds View as well, hopefully to continue to become that between two pretty good teams.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's always good to have a good rivalry, right? Steam up some competition, really just have a reason to come out here and just play your heart out.
Gavin Johnson forces the disc back, and it looks like White Bear Lake has diverted back into a soft cup. Swing again for Mounds View. Schauberg continues to slice and dice the way through the soft zone set here by White Bear Lake. Michelle back midfield for Schauberg. And Conference Rookie of the Year nominee as a sophomore. Coming back in on a good cut there, Juna Yu with 2 points on the night for Mounds View. Midfield, Schauberg wide open as a good play is broken here for Mounds View. Else will stay chilly. Brandon Else into the end zone on a nice pass by Austin Jin as Else finds his way for the first point of his evening. And the Mustangs have retaken the lead at 4-3.
Yeah, it was nice. Again, they didn't try to force anything. They waited for their player to be open, and they just passed precisely.
And the key to a cup defensively, when you choose to set it, is you need a nice tight mark where the player is, you're allowing that disc space between somebody. And you want to keep those hands low to make sure that that disc has to be elevated, and your two zone men or zone players have to make sure that they don't break. And a good fake one way or another forces that cup to move, thinking that throw's going that way. And then all of a sudden, if that cup's broken, like we saw in that last point for Mounds View, a team can just move so quickly up the field.
Right, exactly. Once they have one step on them, that's all it really takes.
So we will now have what appears to be another timeout and another drinks break here, as the Mustangs now lead by a score of 4-3. Again, the teams have really traded points back and forth all day, and for Mounds View being number 5 overall in the Open Division in the state of Minnesota, and for White Bear Lake being number 11 overall in the state of Minnesota, this is kind of the matchup that we expected to see coming into this. Good back and forth style of play, not one team over the other really dominating the pace of play, but it's been those subtle little things for each team that could make a difference as we get into the second half and fatigue starts to set in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, you know, your defense and what you choose to run, whether, like you've said, a man or a zone or, you know, what have you, or what was the word you came up with?
Hybridization?
Hybridization, if you will. I mean, whatever it is here, you know, it's going to have to start changing, and it's going to have to start evolving as the temperatures just get crazy.
So the Classic Suburban previous champions, since the conference existed, White Bear Lake has won all but one matchup. We mentioned it earlier, that 2015 matchup, White Bear Lake and Matamidi. In fact, if we wanted to go further, only 2 times in the history of the Classic Suburban coming into play today has a team not named White Bear Lake or Matamidi participated in it, and neither team, aside from the Bears and Matamidi Ball, have won the Classic Suburban. But Mounds View out in front early tonight.
Yeah, you know, it's just crazy to see how obviously the weather is going to be the first factor right here, and it's going to, you know, wear the people down, wear the players down quicker than normal. But I think the other thing is just the aggressiveness that we've seen coming out from Mounds View. They've came out, they've made crisp, precise passes.
For Mounds View on the other side, members of the Suburban East Conference, which is the conference for the remainder of the sports for Mounds View, they have had success very similarly to White Bear Lake in the Classic Suburban that they have had in the Suburban East, with Mounds View winning the Suburban East in every matchup except for the inaugural one in 2013 against Cretin-Durham Hall Raging Safari, and their lone loss, a 15-12 loss back in 2013. Otherwise, the last time Mounds View played in a conference championship game came against Open World Learning, a very small charter school right in the heart of downtown St. Paul off of Kellogg, I believe. And that was a 15-12 at Humboldt Stadium right off of I-94 in St. Paul. So the coaching continues. Clock continues to wind as we have now hit 60 minutes until the hard cap. Mounds View 4, White Bear Lake 3. This conference championship will go into the seeding as all the teams make the state tournament in the state of Minnesota, but we'll go a long way into the seeding of the state tournament and find out which pool these teams are playing in, very much like a round robin where teams are assigned into a pool, everybody plays each other, and then you go forward from there. But for both of these teams, a win here would go very well to avoiding the top teams in the state, Edina, Hopkins, and Maple Grove.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially a win for Mounds View, right? I mean, that would come in substantially. I'm sure they were, you know, the underdogs coming into this game, and they've played well. But I mean, the same can be said for White Bear Lake.
Of course, I believe last time there was a state championship, I believe there were 8 pools of teams. So for both of these teams, a win for White Bear Lake potentially, if it is still that 8, potentially could give them the number 1 seed in that pool. And for Mounds View, you're probably looking at a number 1 seed regardless. As play resumes, nice catch made there, and that's one of the big things to watch too. Coaches typically tell you to just let that disc fall, because if you catch it and drop it, it's a turnover. Pass here on the near side, nice catch by Rayner. Swung again. Godfrey will cut it back, looking again for the outlet. Man defense played here by Mounds View. Wonderful read defensively. Pass was intended for Yang, but a great read by Josh Else to knock it down. That's another thing that they tell you to do, too. Knock the disc down, and here's a play back the other way, looking forward, and another point for Mounds View. Cameron Dalbow into the end zone, and the Mustangs with a 5-3 lead.
You know, that was a quick score, especially coming off that water break. You could tell that they were able to kind of just catch their breath and come back out aggressive once again.
Well, we talked about how long some of these points can play. Like that last point before the half break, or before the water break, was that like 7 minutes, 7.5, 8-minute play. That one, quick. Forced on a White Bear Lake turnover, and Mounds View took advantage. You don't have to allow the defense a chance to set up, and why would you when you can score like that?
Right, absolutely. I mean, give it all it's got right away. That's what I always say.
So again, the top teams in the Open Division right now, a majority of the teams that we're used to seeing there, but some other programs as well that are on the way up. Edina, Hopkins, Maple Grove, 1, 2, 3 in the Open Division. Teams we're used to seeing. St. Louis Park, relatively new in Ultimate as well. They're number 4. Mounds View at 5. Minneapolis Washburn, the Millers at 6. Apple Valley, 7. Minneapolis Southwest, a relatively new team again as well, just in the last 10 years, at 8. Edina's JV is ranked at 9, above just in the top 20. 10 other varsity programs, which gives you just a good idea of how good the Edina Ultimate program is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to have a JV team amongst the top, you said top 10? I mean, that's absolutely insane. So, as the coaches will work their way off the sideline, Cody Melhorn, who is the Classic Suburban Conference Commissioner, coming over to talk about something. He'll make his way back up to the press box here. I'll see if we can grab what that is. I'm not sure. As now the entirety of the far bleachers and most of the sideline on the north end of White Bear Stadium covered in shade as of this point. The key to signal to the opposing team that you're ready to go is a hand in the air by one player on both teams. And that's what we have here. As Cy, with a good long pull, high into the air, will come here to the midfield area. McFarland with the last White Bear Lake point. He'll catch it, and the offense can be off and running here again for White Bear Lake. Good put midfield, battling for it. Nice catch by Colby Bachmeyer, looking to stay chilly. Had an outlet receiver, but chose to stay chilly. A good decision there by Bachmeyer. On the pass further up ahead, looking for McFarland near the sideline. Is he in? It looks like he is, and a point for White Bear Lake. What a catch. Nice catch.
I
mean, he had to wait for that, too, and time it perfectly. The defense was all over him.
Well, and then again, Jordan, the part of Ultimate is that it's all self-called, so it's the person who makes the catch that calls it. And for the receiver, Jaron McFarland, let's take a look here. We have the advantage of replay. Let's see. Did he get 2 feet in? Let's see. Beautiful throw. Good decision again by Bachmeyer to stay chill. He tried to go through the legs of the marker. And let's see. Into the air, and looks like he did. Beautiful toe tap by Jaron McFarland for his second point of the night. And it's a 5-4 game. You oftentimes don't see effort like that, but a wonderful play by the senior for White Bear Lake. As the Stillwater Ponies, there were a number of games going on in the back fields behind us. Again, it's a Thursday, so it's Ultimate night. Across the state, all teams play their regular season games on Thursday. And Stillwater was playing Irondale, I believe, and Mounds View, I think JVs were both playing against each other. So
That would have been a fun one to watch, huh?
I imagine so, yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that's changed, too, since my days in Ultimate back in the day, is that now these teams have a road and a home jersey, whereas back in when I played Ultimate in 2009, 10, and 11, you had one color, that was it. So my sophomore year, we had white. My junior year, we had kind of like a yellow for White Bear Lake, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, not to age myself, Alex, but back when I was in high school, we didn't have Ultimate. It was something that I learned in college, and man, did I love it.
It's the kind of thing you wish you certainly could have played back in that day, that's for sure. I say that like it's 40 years ago.
Back in my day,
Back in my day. Play can resume again here for Mounds View midfield. Schaubert in the shade again on that far sideline.
Gotta excuse the silly talk. It is warm up here, and we are we are having a good time.
Good defensive play made by Tommy Rollinger to sky up on that one. Get a hand on it. Force a turnover. So White Bear Lake will have to go the length of the field. As can be played in the end zone here, taken out to the end line. Play can continue. Swinging again, Chile. Gavin Johnson with a hot deep looking and in a little bit too far. As the intended receiver, Sandhoffner, had found his way back and got past that last defender. Now a chance back the other way on the counterattack for Mounds View. Josh Else has to time this one. And, ooh, in and out of the hands. Did he trap it or did he get it? He says that he got the point, and the Mustangs believe that they have scored, but there may be a conversation about this.
I think that hit. I hate to say it, but I think that might have been a trap.
Well, I think I'm with you there, too. So the official rule is that if they contest it, they'll actually take the disc to the goal line, and they'll have to tap it in there so play can continue. So defense set by Gavin Johnson. Looking for the outlet, incomplete. Nice defense and good recovery by both Johnson to set the mark and Bachmeyer to knock it down, and a good break for White Bear Lake.
Yeah, you know, I think they might have been a little bit upset about the call that it was a catch. And, I mean, hey, they played stellar defense, got the ball disc back.
Ooh, big collision there as Bachmeyer slid into the shoulder of Mushel. We have another conversation about it as Mustang captain Brandon Else will make sure that everybody gives Bachmeyer the time to compose himself after the collision. So play can continue. Mounds View 5, White Bear Lake 4. The teams have traded points relatively back and forth. Mounds View has led by as many as 2, White Bear Lake by just 1. On a quick possession here. Schauberg to midfield, Jin still looking for a pass up the sideline, and is able to find it again for Else, as the Bears will fire here now. Good pass, good flow again by the Mounds View Mustangs. Eli Schauberg into the end zone, and another 2-goal lead, 2-point lead back in the hands of Mounds View, but perhaps a conversation again. And it appears as though the conversation is happening with Tommy Rollinger. And we'll have to take it back out to the goal line. No, it'll be a goal. And the point will stand. So Mounds View 6 and White Bear Lake 4. As again, you see here, just great flow by the Mustangs. And despite being a team coming in with an overall record under 500, they certainly look like one of the state's best teams tonight.
Yeah, they are playing at a very, very high pace, which is crazy to believe with how warm it is.
If we get a chance, and I don't know if we still have it, but I'd like to see if we can get a chance to take a look at that replay of that point in the end zone. Moot point at this point, because Mounds View scored anyway. But just to see if he did catch that disc or not. Because both of us thought that he had trapped it on the ground, and it was incomplete. But certainly couldn't hurt to see. As the Stillwater Ponies in front of us cheering on the White Bear Lake Bears. Not something you normally see. White Bear Lake, Stillwater, pretty fierce rivals. But I guess Stillwater, Mounds View, perhaps more so.
Yeah, I got nothing, Alex. I'm not sure why that happened, to be honest.
So here's a play again. As far as that trap, which again, moot point at this point because the goal got scored regardless. But let's see if he traps it here. And that's one of the advantages and disadvantages of throwing a disc high in the air and letting it hover. Because they jump for it here, a good sky by Else, off of his hand, sticks with it, and clearly down.
It hit.
Yeah, clearly down there. So unless there was a violation that was called or a foul that was called there, probably explains why it was put on the goal line as well. But still, Mounds View 6, White Bear Lake 4. We have 49 minutes remaining in the hard cap. Here of this one, as you see the Stillwater Ponies concluding their game. Watching here on the near sideline. That's one of the things that we see in Ultimate a lot, too. That's one of the things that we see here, too, is that teams, it does not matter where the teams are from. If there's Ultimate to watch, these kids will stick around and they'll watch it.
You know, it's a fun game to watch. I mean, again, you got to like how there's not referee interference, right? I mean, everybody calls their own stuff, which means at that point it's a moral thing. So it's just fun. It's all around fun.
He's Jordan Gustafson. I'm Alex Westad. A very balmy White Bear Stadium press box is our site for this one tonight. Mounds View 6, White Bear Lake 4. The teams traded goals. Mounds View has led by as many as 2. They've done so twice. White Bear Lake has led by as many as 1, most recently at 4-3. So 3 goals, 3 points scored unanswered for Mounds View. As it's a 7-goal halftime per Minnesota Ultimate rules. So if Mounds View scores next, that'll be our half. And if not, we'll continue playing. Godfrey tries to reach out for it. A nice head over heels somersault, but unable to get that one. Excellent effort, though, by the senior cutter.
It's nice to see that they're still trying. I mean, it is an immense effort out there on all of these guys right now.
H-stack set by Mounds View. Here's a disc high into the air and unable to find it as it cycled back. Ben Fuller was looking for it high in the air, but he had to cycle back as that disc just curved a little bit to his right. Play continues again. Johnson trying to spin, able to do so, intended for Vang, but reaching out to make the block there as he inside. Vang may call a strip there. No, he won't. Now looks like he will, and the conversation will happen. And as sure as is customary, Cy will contest it, and the play will go back. Of course, these teams too, Jordan, they're scored not just on the number of points scored, but they're also scored on their overall sportsmanship. And that can oftentimes factor into the rankings that you see, and in fact it will there, as Cy concedes that the strip was called, and so White Bear Lake with possession. But spirit of the game is a huge part of what we see on the field here for Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see, though, that there's not any quote-unquote heated disagreements with calls or things like that. It's just fun.
Teams by Minnesota and USA Ultimate rules are required to do some sort of a spirit of the game activity, as a turnover there on a quick disc thrown there by Gavin Johnson forces a turn, and that will be halftime. As off of the turnover in a short field set by Mounds View, the Mustangs get to 7, and that will force us to the half with what was a very back and forth start to the half, as that's Mushel, David Mushel, the senior handler, on the completion and the point. We saw a very closely contested first quarter or so of that half, but then Mounds View really started to carry the play the remainder of that half, and they take this 3-goal lead into halftime.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of showing whoever comes out with the most effort right now and is able to really just stay. It seems fast-paced, right? Because their goals have not taken a long time to get down the field and score. So, I mean, if they can keep doing that, they're going to be a force.
We'll step aside, we'll grab a drink, and do everything that we need to do. As again, you see Ben Fuller on your screen, one of the Mustangs with a point scored this evening. We'll step aside and catch our breaths. Mounds View 7 and White Bear Lake 4 here on your home for White Bear Lake Ultimate.
After being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and losing her job due to treatment, Liz received a housing voucher, but was denied housing when she tried to use it.
It was shocking to me that people discriminated against you for the type of income you were utilizing to pay your rent.
Do you use non-wage income such as disability benefits or Section 8 vouchers to pay for housing? A new law in New York State makes it illegal to be denied housing based on your source of income. If you suspect discrimination, visit endincomebiasny.com.
Every day, as our nation's healthcare heroes go to battle, a country watches, inspired. But that heroism is no surprise to us here at Miracle Flights, where for 35 years we've worked with our healthcare partners to help thousands of families. And day after day, decade after decade, they've always shown us the strength and conviction we see so clearly today. So thank you to everyone in the healthcare profession. You've shown us that we rise by lifting others, and on your wings, our country will soar again.
Hi, I'm Anne Margaret. I went to Vietnam to entertain the troops in 1966 and 1968. My guys, my gentlemen, if you lived through the Vietnam War era, you know the impact that the war had. But today, we are in danger of history being lost. Current generations know very little about the war, or the people who served it. As more of our Vietnam vets pass away each day, their stories are being lost to history. Together, we can change that. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund is the organization that built the wall. It works to ensure that future generations will understand the war's impact. Let's help keep the promise that the wall was built on. Never forget. Visit vvmf.org to find out how you can get involved.
Hi, I'm Marcus Scribner. The way we treat others affects us all, and that includes the way we treat animals. Cruel treatment of animals overseas led to the pandemic crisis, killing 1 million people worldwide. Environmental destruction, pollution, and poaching have killed endangered wild species. Our world today is a poorer place for people to live and inhumane for both people and animals. To fight back, American Humane created a 10-point plan to help animals, people, and the world we share. From ending the dog and cat meat trade to universal humane standards for farms, zoos, entertainment, and animal transport. Together we can make a difference. Join the fight for our animal friends. Go to AmericanHumane.org today and sign our new deal for animals. For a kinder, safer, and healthier world for all of us.
From White Bear Stadium, Mounds View leads White Bear Lake by a score of 7-4 here in the Classic Suburban Conference Championship with Jordan Gustafson, who is on his way back and has a couple of bottles of water in hand. Of course, we thank Jordan for making that water rum. I'm Alex Westad, and as Jordan gets set here and ready to go, before we went to break, we started to talk a little bit about the way in which Mounds View really started to carry the second half of that first half and started to dominate the pace of play, really through quick, crisp passes that sliced through the White Bear Lake zone.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way they were playing was just, I mean, it was more fast-paced than their opponents, right? I mean, they were taking half the time at least to get down the field and into scoring range, and every time it seemed they had an effort to score.
Athletic plays across the field. This is how the scoring started as the big man, the basketball commit to the St. Ambrose University, was able to score first. That was Max Steiner for White Bear Lake. Then Mounds View responded as the two teams traded goals for the first 4 total points in the east end zone, of White Bear Stadium. And again, on a beautiful play, great flow by the Mustangs, and a pass on the way in. Wonderful. Again, great flow by the Mustangs for Juna Yu, who leads the Mustangs in points tonight with 2 for Mounds View. Then again, right after that play, Josh Else able to find his way into the end zone. The Bears would respond, scoring into the sun, as well as there was Jaron McFarland with a point for White Bear Lake. Then Mounds View again, so quick on the response. Wonderful flow through traffic and slowing down a little bit too many steps there, but a travel not called. And Brandon Else gets on the board. Here's a wonderful defensive play. No, an offensive play made again as Else was able to find his way into the end zone. Then Bachmeyer looking here on a wonderful toe tap from the senior, Jaron McFarland. Wonderful play for the senior for White Bear Lake. That's the 4 goals for the Bears. Mounds View, however, would find their way into the end zone twice more, as it was a 5-4 score at that point. But Mounds View would not be denied again, as on a quick little backhand throw, Schauberg finds his way in, and then to end the first half, the senior handler, number 15, David Muschel, finds his way in, and that's where we stand at the end of the first half of play. Mounds View 7, White Bear Lake 4. Jordan, pretend you're Coach Curtis Kamek, and White Bear Lake really strong start to the quarter, but you started to falter a little bit in that second half of the first half. What adjustments do you make going into the start of half number 2?
Yeah, I think the big thing here is, just telling our guys to put their foot back on the pedal here. We don't have time to, let up at all. It's definitely not over by any means. But you gotta increase that intensity. You gotta be there defensively. You gotta be there offensively. You gotta make smart passes. Just any number of things that you would normally see. They've just got to be precise. And you're right there.
We'll step aside and have some more words of wisdom for you. White Bear Lake 4, Mounds View 7. Here on your home for White Bear Lake Ultimate.
Imagine a world with more music.
Rhythms and melodies
that dare us to move
when our differences divide us.
I want to create for beautiful moments.
Music that inspires
and fills the air with hope.
I will mix frequencies that resonate.
What I create will help me find my voice.
Something powerful and strong.
It won't be easy. It might seem impossible.
But we will create anthems that unite us.
Our music
can change the world.
Farewell scenes are familiar to the 4th Division, but this time their destination is the other side of the Atlantic.
For some, serving means deploying overseas to make the world a safer place. But for many men and women in the National Guard and Reserve, serving happens closer to home.
The vast majority of New Orleans, Louisiana is underwater.
Major eruption occurring at 8:32 approximately this morning on Mount St. Helens.
My soldiers, they have been working nonstop, around the clock.
We're starting to get some reports of fire in Paradise.
No matter if you've deployed overseas or responded to crisis here at home, you've earned the right to mental health support. Whether it's care at the VA or finding a provider in your community, if you need help, VA will be there. Go to BeThereForVeterans.com to learn how VA supports members of the National Guard and Reserve.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? They go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woo-hoo. Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
As promised, the Classic Suburban All-Conference teams being announced by Conference Commissioner Cody Melhorn, and we'll let you listen to it at this time.
So I want to first recognize all the nominees that are here tonight. If you were nominated by your peers and your programs, please just stand up, give a quick wave, give a quick round of applause for everyone that was nominated, coaches included. All right. If you find yourself on the all-conference team, your name gets called, please come down and gather at the 50-yard line, kind of by the sideline, and I'll come down and snap a quick photo of everyone. So, without further ado, the 2021 Classic Suburban All-Conference team is as follows, starting with Rookie of the Year. Number 14, a freshman from White Bear Lake, Micah Sandhoffner. Moving on to the All-Conference, we've got Gavin Johnson, number 25, a senior from White Bear Lake. Tommy Rollinger, number 32, senior from White Bear Lake. And we've got number 34, Colby Bachmeyer, senior from White Bear Lake. From Mounds View, number 69, Benjamin Fuller. Number 13 from Stillwater, Kate Call. We've got number 23 from Irondale, Ethan Iberg. Number 23 from Stillwater, Eric Votava. We got number 9 from Roseville, Stephen Vang. And we've got number 3. I'm going to butcher the last name, so I'm just going to go with James F. from Irondale. And rounding out the all-conference team as far as players go is number 20, senior from Roseville, Corey Kukowski. And last but not least, Coach of the Year for the Classic Suburban Conference is White Bear Lake's own Curtis Kamek. Cool. Players, I'll be down in a second. Teams, you can start gathering and getting ready to play. We'll snap a quick photo and get back to it.
So the 2021 Classic Suburban Conference All-Conference team, again, well, White Bear Lake represented well, as our Mounds View, Stillwater, Irondale, and that's all the teams represented. Okay. So Gavin Johnson, Tommy Rollinger, Colby Bachmeyer, Benjamin Fuller, Cade Call, Ethan Iberg, Eric Votava, Stephen Vang, James Frymuth, Corey Kukowski. The all-conference nominations and winners for the Classic Suburban, and Rookie of the Year, Micah Sandhoffner from White Bear Lake, and Coach of the Year, Curtis Kamek, rounding out the Classic Suburban. So the teams will snap a picture. We'll get ready to go for the start of half number 2 with Jordan Gustafson. I'm Alex Westhead. And Jordan, we open the game's broadcast tonight with a introspective on weather and heat and humidity. And while not humid, the temperature has dropped now currently 91 degrees.
Oh, man, thank God, huh? Hofta, yeah. And it still feels like 100 degrees in here, though.
Well, you mentioned when you went to go do a water run, for those of us up here in the booth, about 10 degrees cooler outside.
Yeah.
And it's something that, again, while the sun is setting and has just faded behind some shoestring clouds off in the distance, still will be a factor for the rest of the second half. As there's Jordan sipping on some water. Hi, y'all.
There's Alex.
Ian Felix getting shots of the broadcasters from down below on field level. Jordan, we talked about we talked about what White Bear Lake needs to do as they start to try to claw their way back. And again, it's a 15-point total to get to win a game of Ultimate Frisbee. And of course, you must win by 2. What does Mounds View need to do to preserve their lead and carry the pace of play the rest of the way?
I mean, they just can't let up. I mean, they've came out here strong, right? So now is not the time to let off the gas whatsoever. They need to just keep pushing that disc, and again, they've been doing it. So really, they shouldn't change anything.
So with a wind of the clock, we will be at 36:30 and counting remaining as far as what is available in the remainder of the game. And we do have to commend, we've said it before already, but the Stillwater Pony fans and players on their roster in front of us are doing such a great job of bringing the energy as best they can here on the near sideline. And again, they seem to be enjoying their beverages. The gentleman on the left side is reading a novel. Wonderful choice, I imagine. Of course, I think school is done for most schools at this point. Be hard-pressed to imagine otherwise. Our upcoming broadcast on SEC Community is, again, this is our last sports broadcast. White Bear Lake High School's graduation is tomorrow at 7 p.m. and Matamidai's is at 12 p.m. I believe both of those, I think, are set for outdoor graduation. Oh, they are at Aldrich Arena, thank heavens. So those graduations will be at historic Aldrich Arena. However, not much reprieve, certainly, as without the ice, that place heats up very, very quickly. But, hey, graduation's inside. Nothing wrong with that. So White Bear Lake, who won the toss and received to start the game, will pull here to start, as that's intended. I think Coach Kamek almost pegged Max Steiner in the head with that disc. So White Bear Lake will pull to start here for half number 2. As we get set and players continue to converse. Again, the state tournament tabbed for the end of the month. The first year that I played Ultimate was played on a polo field out in Minnetonka, I think. That was a blast. It was 50 degrees, raining the whole time. So we had ourselves huddled up in little blankets and little tarps, and our coach at the time, David Baker, who just celebrated a wedding himself recently, kept shoving snacks and food. Oh no, he was a player on the team. Ken Auger, who was the coach of the JV Bears at the time, kept throwing in cookies and other snacks into our tent at the time to keep us fed and warm, and it was just the best of times. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Because rain?
Rain, cold, Pizza Ranch. Everybody went to Pizza Ranch. It was a great time. That's part of the joy of Ultimate Frisbee, though. You have that, one, people don't like it when you call it Ultimate Frisbee because Frisbee's a brand of a company. But then it's that brotherhood that I keep forgetting about, and that camaraderie between players of all leagues, all teams. It's just wonderful to see.
Yeah.
So
definitely. No, I could see that.
I'm not sure what the point I was trying to make there was.
Just that you miss it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, Mounds View will resume and continue to work so well through this zone for White Bear Lake, as it's caught further up ahead now by Austin Ginn. Pass intended further. No particular receiver. I think David Michelle was in the area who scored last for Mounds View, and now White Bear Lake can look to start here back the other way. On the forehand, Gavin Johnson with the bucket hat. Held in the midfield, pretty good mark set by Josh Else for Mounds View. Rollinger swung to the near side here for Johnson. Johnson looking to find somebody. White Bear Lake not giving much in the way of cuts so far here tonight. Lohman looking for a pass. Found in the midfield area. Good catch made by Steiner, who started the scoring for White Bear Lake. Play continues now. Tommy Rollinger. As Rollinger working on that right side sideline. They gotta give him a cut here. Right now it appears that White Bear Lake, and that is an unforced error there as the pass intended for Lohman, and the Bears will rush back defensively. White Bear Lake's not giving much for the handlers to be able to throw to. There's a lot of standing around and not a lot of motion to create that separation in spaces. I think we'll have a foul called here. That'll give White Bear Lake another break. So the disc will go all the way back to the far sideline in the possession of Tommy Rollinger, again, who is headed down the road on I-35 to Ames, Iowa next year as a senior. Play continues. Almost mishandled there by Johnson. Johnson, forehand flick intended. Beautiful pass, beautiful read. Colby Bachmeyer, and the Bears are back on the scoreboard as it's a 7-5 game now.
You know, I think that's exactly what they needed. They needed to come out here strong, just, take their time, get, a couple lucky breaks, if you will, and then, just score.
Jordan, at the half you mentioned how both of the teams were doing a great job of scoring on quick possessions. And aside from that pause there for the foul that got called, real quick possession by White Bear Lake.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, I mean, if I was the coach, I think that's what I would have, been saying the entire halftime was just, guys, let's speed up here. I know it's hot. I know it's warm. Let's just do this. Let's speed up.
I'm not going back to the previous conversation. I guess it doesn't matter to me if you call it Ultimate Frisbee or Ultimate, because it's just people know it colloquially as Ultimate Frisbee. So why not grow the game by just letting people call it what they want? Simple, right?
Okay. That's all I got, man. Okay. I'm not about to get deep. It's too warm for that,
That's
my friend.
True. That is true. Deep to have warm warm? God. Warm philosophical
should
conversations.
drink some water there, bud.
Yeah, no kidding. So White Bear Lake trails Mounds View by a score of 7-5. what a day it's been, my friend. What
Oh,
a day
for
it's
sure.
been. As the playing surface now covered completely by shadow in this beautiful grove of trees on the far side. Here's Rollinger to pull. Mounds will field it midfield. We haven't seen a brick yet tonight, which is something that I think both teams are very happy about. Swung to the right side. Still held possession. Else, as the Mustangs have broken through the zone again for White Bear Lake. Jin working around what appears to be a 4-man cup set now by White Bear Lake. Possession held back. Mustangs looking for an outlet. That stall count can't be called because no one's close enough. Swing here to the near side as the Mustangs have broken the cup again. Near side, beautiful diving catch. Wonderful athleticism by Juna Yu. Yu with a ton of space. Pass further up ahead for Michelle. Michelle on the forehand, founds Else. Again, Else end zone, pass complete. Dolbau, his second of the day. And the Mustangs have answered back 8-5, Mounds View in front.
Just a quick pass right after that diving catch. I mean, that was beautiful. Back-to-back-to-back catches and good offense.
Crisp.
Very crisp.
Very. I mean, look at this time that he has to throw, too. He settles down, he doesn't get overexcited, and he finds the smart play rather than trying to force something there. And that's a sign for Juna Yu as a junior cutter to have that kind of awareness of game flow, game theory. That's exceptional, ultimate.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the athleticism to put yourself, lay yourself out to make those catches, too. I mean, just all around, it's just beautiful.
So there's Cameron Delbau with the long sleeves on tonight. 2 points scored on the evening for the junior for the Mustangs. And as we've hit 31 minutes and change remaining in the hard cap, Mounds View leads by a score of 8-5. And if Mounds View just trades points back and forth the rest of the way, as you watch that clock tick down, at some point you start thinking about just working around with the handlers and draining that time as much as possible with a 3-point lead.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely still too early now to be doing that. So, I mean, I think again, I mean, if we did have time of possession, I think that Mounds View would definitely be, owning it for sure.
So Mounds View to pull, as they'll pull to the west end here of White Bear Stadium inside, who has pulled line drives on the majority. I mentioned earlier that we haven't seen a brick tonight, and that's when the disc goes out of bounds on a pull, where the team has the option to be able to pull it towards what's called a brick mark. Most fields have them, White Bear Stadium does not, but it's about 25 yards out from that end line. Put it right in the middle of the field, and give your offense a good clean field to work with. As Cy will get a little bit of assistance here as that'll curve perfectly back over the middle in the possession here now of Gavin Johnson. Lohman with space. Pick was called. So while it won't affect the play, it'll go all the way back. It can be reset again by Johnson. Perhaps an offensive pick set. So Johnson will have it again. A foul cannot result in a turnover by any means. So the disc will go back to Johnson, who will play it again at the 25. Johnson working around the fence here, Ben Fuller. Here's a long shot, deep and out past the intended receiver. Well read by Zach Sanders to get open, and now Mounds View can do what they do so well. Quick passes up the field. As they'll find it here. Perfectly read in the midfield. Great catch by Chris Yan. Here's another one, 2-on-2 play. This one will be skied up. Who comes down with it? Oh, in and out of the hands. What a catch! Beautiful play reception by Alex Powell. And the Mustangs extend their lead to the largest of the night. It's 9-5 in favor of the Mustangs.
He just kept with that. It bounced right off his fingers, but he timed it perfectly, waited for it to flow back down, and caught it. It was gorgeous.
Well, you put the disc up to be able to give again, no marking set by White Bear Lake, and look at how this just hovers. Beautiful read again by Powell. Lost it off the fingertips, and great adjustment to get that point for the Mustangs.
I love the little disc flop at the end there. Yeah, that's right. That's me.
So Mounds View will extend the lead. Again, the largest lead of the night for the Mustangs at 9-5. White Bear Lake has led a couple of times early, but by no more than one. We showed a graphic a little bit earlier of the Classic Suburban champions since the conference began play in 2013. And White Bear Lake winning all but one coming into this one today. It appears as that number will be increased to 2 unless the Bears are able to turn it around in a hurry. So coaching continues by the Mustangs as we've hit 27:50 remaining in the hard cap time. Again, the Suburban East, the previous conference for Mounds View. Again, Mounds View no stranger to conference championships and conference championships appearances they've made every time that they were in the Suburban East. And again, here in their first in the Classic Suburban. And it appears as though, if math serves correct, that will be, if they hold on, 7 straight conference championships.
That's just an amazing feat right there.
So here's a disc that comes back and gets a favorable roll for White Bear Lake. Yang looking to find a cutter. Again, good cut set there. No. They're still looking for an outlet to play very close to that 10-second stall count. Dumps it back, and a good read by Tommy Rollinger. Nice pass, able to be held on there by McFarland. Still looking for the outlet there, McFarland. Into the outstretched arms of the handler and the cutter, Zach Sanders. Swung back here. Rollinger. McFarland again. McFarland puts it up here. We'll see if it curves back. Intended for Daniel Rayner. And in and out of the hand. Slapped down on the ground by Josh Else. That disc held up just a little bit too long, and Else made a great read to knock it out of the reach of Rayner. Fuller. Here now again for Chris Yan. Fuller. On the right-handed put. Turnquist. Turnquist was sending it into the area there of Fuller, but knocked down. Great read by Steiner for White Bear Lake. Rollinger. Again, when you have the disc in your possession, you have to establish one foot as the pivot foot, similar to basketball. Rollinger just puts up a prayer with the stall count being high, and why wouldn't you? Max Steiner able to pull it down. The play has stopped, though. Perhaps a foul called behind the play. So the call here, I think we have a stall count conversation here, and I think that's part of why the turnover happened here, is that the stall count had reached 10. So Tsai again continues to swing it, put back into the middle. Able to get to it here, Ben Fuller without a point yet this evening. Josh Else with one. Swung to the right side for Ian Tsai. Tsai, Fuller. Fake the forehand and then puts it perfectly over the middle. Wonderful read. Great pass, great catch. Fuller to Chrissy Yan. And the Mustangs are in double digits, 10-5.
They are just not letting up. I mean, the amount of fast, crisp plays that we have seen here, it's great. I mean, they're playing like it's 75 and perfect out.
Well, I think the forehand flick and that big forehand step that you see Fuller do right there, and then the perfect backhand to a wide open streak in Chris Yan. How are you supposed to beat that? That's just a well-executed fake and a great run by the Mustang cutter. So Yan with a point scored tonight for the Mustangs. That gives Mounds View so far 10 points scored by 8 different point getters. And instead of, actually that's 7 different point getters, excuse me. The offense has been pretty spread out by Mounds View here this evening. It hasn't just been the cutters. It hasn't just been the handlers. Everybody has been contributing to this lead for Mounds View.
Yeah, and I think, again, like you were saying, Alex, is when they get that first, initial that cut, right, and make their defender juke a certain way, and then they have the whole other side free, that's what you're going to see every single time, is you're going to see somebody getting wide open.
So Mounds View to pull here again. Tsai majestically down the field. And Tommy Rollinger will watch it. He'll field it just inside the goal line. Lohman faked a big put and looking into the midfield area, but the pass off the hands of Colby Bachmeyer. And Mounds View again looking to assert their dominance further. Again, White Bear Lake with just 1 point, so 3-1 points for the Mustangs here in the second half. As that's a miscue by the Mustangs, by the handler, as Tsai was looking to put it back again for Josh Else. And a turnover forced by White Bear Lake. Gavin Johnson to approach. Stall count does not start until he taps it in. Now he does. Johnson will put it deep. Pass is looking there into the hands, and a great catch by the Rookie of the Year in the Classic Suburban, Micah Sandhoffner. And the Bears are back within 4.
That was nice. I don't know. It seemed like the disc was up there long enough for them to make a defensive play on it. But, I mean, he got there, and once he saw that disc, it was his.
Well, and it's the little breakdowns defensively that create so much space for teams to be able to operate their offense. And it's that first little fake, and that mark is so far spread out that you just have all that time to pick a side, really. And I think I'm with you there, Jordan. Both defenders back, almost like a soft safety back there for Mounds View. I think both had a chance to make a play on that disc, but neither did. And White Bear Lake will take advantage of it as they now pull it to a 10-6 game. Again, you see there coaches Curtis Kamek walking on the near side, Jordan Farley, who's been around this program since 2005, since the program and White Bear Lake started. And then Alex Przbilski walking as well as the coaching staff continues. Curtis's wife, Hannah Kamek, on the near sideline, coaches the women's team here in White Bear Lake. Mounds View played it off the ground, so that is not a turnover. Mushel. Reset by Schaberg with a point tonight. Right side swing. Still working around as White Bear Lake reverts to kind of a soft cup here, almost kind of a man. And a hybrid between the two. Pressure forced into the open. Jin. Wide open, able to work his way back defensively. Jin with time, dumped it back for Schaberg. Schaberg for Jin as they play give and go. Into the midfield area now. Dahlbau with 2 goals tonight for Mounds View. Look at this offense by the Mustangs. Sprung into the midfield area, looking perfect disc, perfect catch, perfect point. And into the end zone, Brandon Else with his second of the night, and it's 11-6 Mustangs.
Man, just the quickness of the answering every single time. I mean, yeah, that's all I got.
It's when you look at that possession, Jordan, and how the Mustangs just flow down the field. If you want to be a coach of Ultimate, that is textbook passing, offensive zone setup, and great movement by those cutters just to get open and make something happen there. And then that curvature on that disc, too, just perfect to put it in a spot where only your receiver can get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Else with 2 points tonight for the senior cutter for the Mustangs. Again, an all-conference nominee for Mounds View. Again, the all-conference teams were voted on by the players in the Classic Suburban Conference. I mentioned Spirit of the Game typically results in a Spirit of the Game activity at the end, which is required by Minnesota Ultimate. My personal favorite, of course, Run, Scream, and Die, where everybody lines up on the goal line, and when a coach says go, you run, and then you scream, and then when you can't scream anymore, you fall down. Run, Scream, and Die.
All right.
Absolute my favorite. My favorite
good.
one. We saw, in my time, we saw people singing songs. We saw, actually, with my team once, we did a rendition of Dayman, as this will be a brick here, so the Bears will get to bring it back out toward midfield. We sang the Dayman from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but modified it for Ultimate, and we sang it to a team. We had a team carry 3 of our players around on a couch and fed them grapes and fanned them once. Iconic stuff. Spirit of the game. Have to love it.
Dayman. Whoa. Sorry, guys, I broke out in song.
I hope we don't get copy struck for that. On the H-cut, pass intended further up the field for Sandhoffner as the H-stack was set, or the I-stack rather, was set by White Bear Lake, and it appeared as though Sandhoffner was the intended target, but that disc just over the head, and a missed chance and missed opportunity here for White Bear Lake. So here's Josh Else. He'll take it in as the disc went out of bounds. Take it to the 40-yard line. Defense mark set by Colby Bachmeyer. Else pass in the middle. Ooh! Simultaneous possession there, but results in possession for the Mounds View Mustangs. Chris Yan. Pass up the sideline. Ooh, pretty tight defensive there by Gunther Ahrens. And there'll be a conversation for it. Was he in bounds or was he out?
Stillwater team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so the conversation will continue. I think it is if he's out of bounds. And, in fact, you saw the foot go up there of Alex Powell, perhaps to signal that he got a foot in bounds. Conversation continues between Lohman and Powell, and so by rules of the game, the play will reset back to where it was previously. So after the disc is tapped in, there we go. Play resumes. 11-6 Mustangs. Two teams traded points in the first half before Mounds View went on a run to take the lead into the half at 7-4. Then Mounds View's come out firing on all cylinders here so far in the second half, outscoring White Bear Lake in half number 2 by a score of 4-2. We will have another drink break, I believe, coming up if Mounds View is able to score on this point. Powell. Pass looking for his brother Alex. Alex, pass, beautiful. Wonderfully operated offense by the Mustangs. Daniel Lay into the end zone for Mounds View. And it's now 12-6 Mustangs as the Bears have been doubled up by Mounds View.
Yeah. What can you say? I mean, Mounds View came out here ready.
Well, and to an impartial observer and to somebody who might not be passionately following the game of Ultimate, you look at Mounds View's record overall, and you see 8-11, and you sit there and you think to yourself, how can they be 5th place overall? But then you take a look at what you've seen here today, and that record just isn't indicative of how talented these Mustangs are.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you know, any game can go that way, right? And it doesn't have to just be Ultimate. I mean, any game. You have one bad play, 2 bad plays, you know, things that just kind of line up together. And before you know it, your record's not as good as it should be.
Let's take a gander, to continue this point further, let's take a gander at the schedule for the Mustangs this year. They played Minneapolis Southwest, and they beat them, a team ranked 8th. They played Edina and lost to them, the first-ranked team. They played Hopkins, lost to them, second-ranked team. They played Eden Prairie, lost to them, beat them, the 15th-ranked team. They played Maple Grove, lost to them, the third-ranked team. They played Washburn, beat them, the 6th-ranked team. And they played Irondale, who's not ranked in the top 20. So the teams that they are losing to are the best teams in the state. Of the games in the regular season, their losses came to 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Exactly. But I mean, hey, here's what you said earlier, right? Every team makes the state, right? So I mean, once you do that, it's a whole new tournament. I mean, if you can get and you can gain and keep momentum like they've been playing tonight, I mean, who's to say that your record matters at all?
Again, the goals from the second half, we'll see them, and you'll see them going through their screen. I should correct myself. They did not lose to Washburn. They beat Washburn. So they've only lost to the 1, 2, and 3 team in the state, which means, hey, if those are the teams you're losing to, you're pretty good. That started the scoring for White Bear Lake. Miss Colby Bachmeyer got into the end zone for the first time, and that pulled the Bears to within 3. But this beautiful passing by the Mustangs evened it up pretty quickly as Cameron Dalbaugh with his second point of the night. Then on a beautiful put and a wonderful individual effort on the follow-through by Alex Powell on the high disc. Great job to follow through it, and the sachet of the disc after the fact. Then again, beautiful swing set by the Mustangs as they continue to break through this White Bear Lake Cup defensively. And again, right into the midfield area, beautiful streak set by Christian for his second point of the night. Then on the response, another beautiful put themselves as colliding with everybody. A wonderful red play there by Micah Sandhoffner, the Rookie of the Year in the Classic Suburban. Then, again on swings, beautifully curved disc, wonderful form, and a pass completed there to Josh Ells. And the offense will continue to roll. Perfect play between handlers and cutters as Powell finds a wide open receiver in number 7, Daniel Lay, and that's how we've gotten to our score so far at 12-6. Again, in the drinks break, the Mustangs choosing to throw some more. That's your choice to do with the water break, what you'd like. But they lead by a score of 12-6 and 3 points away from victory here in this one tonight.
It's been quick. I mean, this whole second half is just, the scores have been quick.
There's been conversations in other sports, as we sit here with under 14 left to go in the hard cap. In other sports, basketball a big one. I mean, you could argue baseball too at this point. The way in which Ultimate Frisbee ends after a set score makes it unique among the sport. In college, in amateur, semi-pro basketball, we'll say, we've seen something called the Elam ending occur as well, where you add 15 points to whichever team is winning after 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Is that something that hard cap get to this point first ending? Is that something you'd want to see in other sports?
No. I think for sports like football and basketball and things like that, I think a time limit is crucial. Don't ask me why. Maybe I'm just a stickler for things not changing. But I think that ultimate should be set aside. Right? It's a different sport completely. We don't have another sport out there like this. So let's not conform, if you will.
We've mentioned our camera operators already tonight. We'll mention them again as the sun sets down here in White Bear Lake. Ian Felix down on the field, baking off of the heat of the turf. The two gentlemen upstairs, Anders Engstrom and Steven Adams, have quite a significant breeze up there, and it's quite cool and comfortable, but hydration, as always, is key, and they have been doing a great job on the cameras bringing this coverage here for you tonight. As you see on your right, there's Steven, and on the left, there's Anders. And, of course, Ian down on the field down below. David Schuyler and Arlen Becker are both in the truck. We thank them for their efforts this year. Between mask mandates, having to wear gloves on set for a majority of the school year, and navigating different arena, different facility, COVID-19 rules and regulations, it's been a challenging year on the broadcasting side for all of us, and it appears as though finally we're back to normal.
Yes, I mean, it is incredibly hard to wear a mask everywhere you go. Sorry, I kind of slurred there. Let me not spill water over what I was trying to say. It is incredibly hard to wear a mask with everything you have to do, and it's incredibly hard to do that when you're playing sports.
So the brick rule applies here. As you'll see, Vang will trake it out all the way to the 25-yard spot. Even if the disc goes out of bounds in the end zone, it still goes back to that 25-yard line, similar to a touchback. In fact, because the yard marker is on the field, they can use it literally to be able to mark it out that way. Vang off the eye stack. Nice catch by Bachmeyer. Bachmeyer looking for the forehand throw, trying to find a reset there. Gets it to Rollinger further up ahead. Rollinger looking to put a disc somewhere, but Mounds View strong on the defense again. Vang on a swing, knocked down. Pass was looking for Jaron McFarland, but a good read by the cutter defensively, Cameron Dalbow. And the Mustangs can continue to swing again here. Josh Else, as this flow continues to work for the Mustangs. Pass is low, pass complete. You make a defensive play, you get to put your name on the score sheet. Cameron Dalbow into the end zone. 13-6 now in the second half, dominated by Mounds View.
Yep, once again, just quick defensive play, lead into quick offense, crisp passes, just quick scoring.
So Dalbow will take the lead for individual points scored on the night for the Mustangs, as Mounds View now 2 points away from victory. And again, you see head coach Curtis Kamek doing a great job as coach of the year in the Classic Suburban, communicating with his players how better to improve. Because White Bear Lake has been making passes, but that defense has just been off.
Yeah, I mean,
from what we're used to seeing from a White Bear Lake team, that defense has just been a little bit off tonight.
Yeah, I think they're tired. It's warm. This is and you said it early on, and I think we just touched on it one time here, but the jerseys, right? I mean, white compared to like orange and black, it is going to eventually, play into something here.
It may sound stupid, but maybe it makes a factor. Maybe it makes a difference. So Mounds View to pull again. It'll be a new puller this time for the Mustangs. Brandon Else to pull. This one, a line drive. Drifting to the left side. This will drift and flow out of bounds, so another brick will get called here against the Mustangs. Their third brick of the day. White Bear Lake without a brick assessed against so far, and they'll take it out to the 25-yard line. Now 9 minutes remaining in the hard cap of play today. So 2 points or 9 minutes, whichever happens first, will result in the first Classic Suburban Conference Championship for the Mounds View Mustangs. And will extend their streak dating back to the 2013 season when Raging Safari, Cretin-Durham Hall, defeated them for the 2013 Suburban East Conference Championship. And it'll be just the third winner of the Classic Suburban, as White Bear Lake and Matamidi, the only other two teams that had won the conference since it began in 2013. Else Finds Fuller. Back here midfield. Else again. Josh Else. Josh and Brandon. A lot of family connections on both teams tonight. As again, pass beautiful. Again, I don't know if you're White Bear Lake what you can do as Ben Fuller finds the end zone, the captain for the first time tonight. It's so hard to defend and make that switch from a zone down and low to a man defense right on the goal line that White Bear Lake really has no shot to defend that because it's perfect.
I mean, that's all it is, right? It's precision passing, it's precision defense. And I mean, they're just, unfortunately, they're just being outplayed right now.
Again, great transition offense by White Bear Lake, too. Again, Lohman, you see there, pretty strong defense, forces that turn, and just a great run by the very nice player, Ben Fuller, to find his way into the end zone for the first time tonight. Gets his first point. And so with that, Mounds View a point away from victory here tonight as they lead now 14-6. That's actually the second point of the night for Fuller. Thank you to statistician David Schuyler for communicating that. So Mounds View will set up on the right sideline. White Bear Lake will do the same on the left. For both of these teams heading into the state tournament coming up, part of me expects that these two teams will see each other again, if not in pool play, but in the elimination round as well. I think for Mounds View, they would appear to be one of those top teams in the conversation, perhaps to make it to that semifinal round. And White Bear Lake, I think if they can make those little adjustments defensively, I think that they're going to be in a pretty good spot coming up to the state tournament. Vang looking for an outlet pass. Plenty of time before the mark is set. Back here again. Can be reset by Steiner, who scored the first point for White Bear Lake tonight. And only one player, Jaron McFarland, with multiple points on the evening for White Bear Lake. A little bit too far over the head of Bachmeyer. Now a turn. Back the other way. Josh Else with a point for the Mustangs. Back again. Here's a put for the conference championship. Disc is up. Well read defensively. Great play on the back line as that safety by Colby Bachmeyer, and White Bear Lake will take possession. As that pass intended for the senior cutter, Alex Seishin. And just great read by Bachmeyer. Rollinger trying to connect. We'll go back for Vang, knocked down. And so Mustangs will have to play it on the goal line, kick it all the way back there, but this should be a extremely short field for the Mustangs. And White Bear Lake can set up defensively. Zai, a little bit of miscommunication there as I think they did not stay chilly. Pass was intended for Emmanuel Pratt. It fell at his feet, and another break back the other way for White Bear Lake.
You know, I think there was just a miscue there on that one.
Good grab, one-handed by Zach Sanders. Vang, spun, Bachmeyer. Bachmeyer to slow down, puts it deep, and it'll be a race for it. The tall number 33 Steiner reaches and unable to get get the disc in his hand. Beautiful reach for it, got just underneath, but not enough to hold on. Really good throw by Tommy Rollinger. And Steiner so close to finding the end zone.
I think just a little bit more time of hover there, and that would have been perfect.
It's going to be taken out by the Mustangs to their own goal line. The player who took the disc in play, Josh Else, called time out. And so the Mustangs will take the timeout here with 4:20 and counting remaining in the second half. Mounds View leads 14-6. And as the clock will continue to wind, Mounds View will be on their way to their first Classic Suburban Championship. And White Bear Lake, their first loss in this game since 2015. Jordan, we've seen a lot of Ultimate tonight. The fans on the far side have seen it as well. What have you liked tonight? As again, you see our social media there in the bottom left corner.
You know, I think the big thing is just how fast, paced the game has been. I mean, there's, when White Bears scored, there's been quick answers. Vice versa for the most part, right? But then all of a sudden you see, Mounds View just keeping that momentum and White Bear kind of slowly trailing behind.
He's Jordan Gustafson. I'm Alex West, and we are now at 3:30 and counting in the hard cap time. We have broken under 90 degrees. Phone currently says 90, or 89, rather. And as these two teams gear up for the rest of the year, it's going to be a big learning opportunity for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You came into the game, you know, I mean, I've said it before, you can't take a schedule as, you know, as whatever, right? But, I mean, obviously, White Bear came in as the favorites, right? But Mounds View didn't care. They just came in hard, and they came in strong, and yeah.
Well, tonight may be the last high school sports that we have on our airwaves this year. Fear not, more sports around the corner, as this is your home for the Minnesota Vixen women's professional football team. They will next face off, not tomorrow, but instead we'll have Dallas on the 19th, and then a playoff game probably against Arlington, as that put is for no one in particular. They'll have a playoff game presumably against the Arlington Impact on the 26th. I'll be on the call for one of those two games. And of course, St. Paul Saints, this is your home for AAA St. Paul Saints baseball. And they have currently homestand with the Omaha Storm Chasers. And I believe the Louisville Bats as their next. Is a beautiful play there made by Kelly Kennedy. Disc is up, intercepted. He skied that man that time to take it away. And now Mounds View again looking for a chance to wind down the clock or make it an even 15. Seichen. Beautiful flow. Fake the forehand, the backhand rather. Diddy inside. Taking their time. Chris Yan. Yan. Looking for an outlet. Defended by McFarland for White Bear Lake. Pass a little bit too far. And quickly, the Bears try to take advantage of the turn. Colby Bachmeyer back looking for this disc. He's got it. Point for the Bears. Their third of the half. And so Colby Bachmeyer gets into the end zone for the second tonight. It'll be a 14-7 game. And that should be where we'll end up with the final, as we're now about a minute remaining in the hard cap time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but hey, I mean, they showed that they can make precise passes and really just be there. And, you know, I think the learning experience from this one would be, hey, guys, let's just do this.
Well, they take advantage of the turnover, too. And it's a good awareness by Bachmeyer not to grab the disc right away, but let McFarland take it and then make that throw because there's nobody behind you.
Right.
So put the disc up and go make a catch.
Absolutely.
So White Bear Lake will pull it off here as we'll go all the way back towards the goal line. It can be fielded here by Josh Else on the turn in the midfield. Schauberg played further again as they're looking to continue to play. Beautiful put here now again. Austin Jin, the captain, on the beautiful flow. He jumped in, so they'll have to go back and tap it back in as they'll look for the outlet play. Josh Else. Else looking for an outlet for the championship. Goes back for Jin. Jin, beautiful swing, too far. Past Brandon Else. Looking to seal this one. 15 seconds remaining in the hard cap time. And in that time, Mounds View certainly will be content to wait this one out as the Bears will approach the line quickly. And Mounds View, in their first season in the Classic Suburban, has run away and has become the Classic Suburban champions. But of course the play does continue. It will conclude with an Isaac Northwood point. So that officially will make it a 14-8 game. However, with the horn being sounded, the 100 minutes being elapsed, that's it. And the Mounds View Mustangs have defeated the White Bear Lake Bears by a final of 14-8. Jordan, your final thoughts?
I mean, it was a good game. It was warm, and these guys put out a lot of effort. So great job, everyone.
He's Jordan Gustafson on color commentary tonight. For Ian Felix on camera 3, Anders Engstrom and Steven Adams up top. David Becker and Arlen Schuyler in the truck. No, that's not right. David Schuyler and Arlen Becker in the truck. We'll see you in the fall. I'm Alex Westad. Final score again, Mounds View 14, White Bear Lake 8, as the Mustangs are Classic Suburban champions here on your home for White Bear Lake Ultimate.